Joining us now is Navotas Representative Toby Tiangco. Good morning, Kong. Thanks for joining us again. Kong, can you hear us okay? Wala tayong naririnig muna kay Congressman
Morning.
Toby Tiangco.
Good
Ayun.
morning.
Ayun. All right. Kong, thank you for joining us. Okay, so we would like to get your reaction on this two impeachment complaint against President Bongbong Marcos.
Yes, I think you're referring to, as of yesterday, when I left Congress, dalawa pa lang yung natatanggap. One was the one endorsed by Congressman Jet Nisay, and the
Right.
second one was the one endorsed by the Makabayan Bloc, no? So, tulad na nadinig ko kanina, it has to be included in our calendar of business within 10 session days and should be referred to the Committee on Justice within 3 days. So, yun po yung mga steps na dapat pagdaanan po niyan.
And for one, I remember you said before that mahirap for you to support, if ever, yung impeachment complaint laban kay VP Sara if hindi mapapanagot yung mga responsible dito sa flood control mess. But this time around, what about this impeachment complaint against the president? Do you think he is also responsible? Dapat ba siyang i-impeach?
Hindi, okay, I'll make that statement clear, no. Ang sabi ko noon is, number one, I am always for accountability, diba? Number one po yun. Walang exempted sa accountability. Number two, that statement regarding the impeachment of VP Sara was on a context na sabi ko, kung pareho lang yung impeachment complaint na ifa-file nila, yung I don't know, 150 o ilang 100 billions, tapos compared naman doon sa accusation sa mga, lalo na sa ang accusation doon sa House is doon sa very high officials, chairman ng Committee on Appropriations at former speaker, na bilyon o abot pa sa trilyon, do we have the moral authority, no, na mag-decide? And we will have to think about that when the time to decide comes, no. Parang ang sabi ko noon, bago ka tumingin, kasi kami parang fiscal dito, di ba? So napakahalaga yung moral authority. In fact, the majority leader showed his moral ascendancy yesterday when he recused himself, no. That being said, constitutional duty po namin yan. Wala kaming choice, no. Yung sinasabi kong opinion ko na yun is sa punto na kami ay magdidesisyon. Kasi sabi ko, bakit ayaw nilang magsalita? Bakit yung mga bumabaktikos noon kay VP Sara, mas maingay pa sila doon sa kay VP Sara na mas maliit ang halaga kaysa doon sa mga kasama namin sa House na sobrang laki ng halaga, no? Pero, that being said, since meron ng impeachment complaints, it's our constitutional duty, whether VP Sara yan or President Bongbong Marcos yan, it is our constitutional duty na unang-una, tanggapin yung impeachment complaints. Number two, i-refer sa, isama sa calendar of business within 10 session days. Number three, dalhin sa Committee on Justice. Pang-apat, dapat within 60 session days, magdesisyon ang Committee on Justice, no? And then, pag naggawa ng committee report ang Committee on Justice, yan na ang pagbobotohan sa plenaryo. Iba na kasi ngayon yung impeachment complaint kumpara nung dati. Kasi ngayon, even maka one-third ka automatically, you would still have to go through the process because of the Supreme Court ruling. No?
Right.
So, iba na ngayon.
Kung ang question dito kasi itong dalawang complaint na if it gets referred to the Committee on Justice, no, will this be consolidated?
It should be. Should be. Kasi kahapon may nakita ako na sinama yan sa biglang nagpa-meeting yata yung Committee on Rules kahapon.
Yes, with Makabayan Bloc.
Yes. Magkasama yung dalawang magkasama yung dalawang impeachment complaint. Just like any other bill yan, pag pare-pareho yung topic, kino-consolidate yan at sabay na dinidinig yan. So, ganyan po ang mangyayari dyan.
So, pag sa committee level pa lang, Kong, ay hindi na katanggap-tanggap ang impeachment complaint sa isa, damay na po ba rin yung isa, kahit mas mahina yung isa?
Yun, sa tingin ko, hindi. Sa tingin ko, hindi. I mean, that's my opinion. It becomes consolidated kasi after, di ba?
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, doon yan sa committee report kino-consolidate. Parang ano yan gawin natin, for example, pag kami gumagawa ng bills, di ba, iba-ibang version ng bill, di ba?
Yes.
Nagkakaroon ng substitute bill after dinggin na lahat ng bills, no? So sa tingin ko, my opinion is hindi, no? Ngayon, ang mahalaga dyan is pagdating doon sa Committee on Justice, dapat dinggin yan and dapat within 60 session days mag-report out sila sa plenaryo.
Okay, but have you seen the articles of the impeachment of both impeachment complaints?
Wala pa kahit isa wala pa ako natatanggap
okay.
na kopya.
Okay.
Wala pang nakapadala sa aming kopya.
Kasi ang fear nila sa yung the first one daw, medyo some called it basura daw dahil wala daw masyadong naka-attach na evidence and merely clippings lang and 15 pages. So yung pangalawang complaint, which is supposed to be stronger daw, that's why I asked you kanina, baka madamay daw ito sa kahinaan ng isa, kung mag-consolidate daw at pagbotohan, baka ang mangyari is yung weakness ng isa will become the weakness of the other.
I cannot comment on that because I'm not totally sure, but I don't think that should be the case. Ngayon, yung sinasabi nyo, ganito yan, no? Pag insufficient in form siya, then pwedeng ma-remedy yan, di ba? Ang problema is in yung insufficient in substance, wala
That's
yan.
right.
But regarding whether it's going to be consolidated, madadamay isa o hindi, I think you will have to ask experts on that, no? Because I haven't reached the point of exploring up to that point. But it's good. I will try to explore based on your questions, pag-aralan ko na kung ano yung magiging epekto nun.
Well, ang isa sa mga sinasabi dito aside from the, of course, yung unprogrammed funds na sinasabi nilang unconstitutional na pinirmahan pa rin ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos this time around. Pero they're also talking about the 2025 budget, which is dubbed the most corrupt budget in our history, ay meron din daw siyang pananagutan doon by merely signing it. Kasi parang he allowed it to happen. He allowed the formula na makakuha ng mga proponents, allocable, etc. What do you have to say to that?
Nadinig ko yung usapan ninyo kanina doon sa parang BBM parametric formula, no? Sinasabi nyo. Yung BBM parametric formula kasi is previously walang formula of how projects were being allocated per district, di ba? Dati wala We don't know how it's being allocated. So, minsan may taon na yung distrito mo mababa, minsan may taon na mataas. Ang ginawa lang ng DPWH noon is para magkaroon ng basis kung paano i-allocate, no? So, DPWH ang gumawa noon, gumawa sila ng formula kung paano i-allocate. And based on that allocation, at least you are assured na yung NEP, wag na natin tawagin NEP restored. NEP minimum mo is the minimum budget that is assured to your district for each year. Yun. So, hindi ko alam kung anong sinasabi nilang masama doon. Mas okay ba yung walang formula na parang arbitrary? So, ibang taon, iba-iba yung nakukuha ang budget ng distrito. Sa tingin ko, mas may room for discretion yun di ba? Kasi walang basis So kung sasabihin lang for political favors or whatever, mas may room for political favors yun kasi walang formula. Dito, ginawa ng DPWH yung formula. But of course, not everyone will be happy about the formula, di ba? Siyempre, yung mabababa, sabihin na, ba't mababa yung sa amin? Pero at least, may formula na may papakita yung DPWH on how they reach on the amount of the minimum assured for each district.
Pero kung pagpalagay na natin, tama po yung sinasabi po ninyo regarding the formula. Pero at the end of the day, the question here is why did the President sign 2025 budget knowing na ito nga, iniimbestigahan natin na napaka maanomalya nitong budget na ito. So nakikita nila by merely signing it, he is accountable. It's either hindi niya ginagawa ng maayos yung trabaho niya or 'di ba? Alam niya na may mali dito, pero sinayna niya pa rin.
Okay, 'di ba nag-line item siya because the I don't know, my impression is this was not related to me. This is my impression. I think the impression was that my impression is that worried sila doon sa repercussion or enacted budget. In fact, if you will go back to his SONA, di ba sabi niya na parang kung hindi ayos yung budget, di bali ng magka-re-enacted budget. So based on that statement, it seems that we will conclude na yun yung reason kung bakit niya pinirmahan. Number one yan. Number two, yung pirma niya doesn't mean naman na pinayagan niya yung mga insertions eh. Ito, very clear ito na nung napirmahan, pinahold lahat ng insertions. Pinahold yan lahat. Hindi pinarelease. Tapos, pinaaral mabuti. And alam ko, as of July 29, 2025, merong 80 billion out of the insertions na totally hindi ma-release. Yun, personal knowledge ko yun. Kasi di ba ako yung nag-aral nung insertions eh.
Yeah.
So sigurado ko na up to July 29, 2025, merong 80 billion na hindi na-release. Sumunod, okay, kasi parang ang nangyayari, kinokonekta yung mga ghost projects tsaka yung mga substandard doon sa 2025 budget, no? I will make it clear na I don't think there were substandard and ghost projects in the 2025 budget. Bakit? Bakit ko nasabi yan? Because the SONA was in July, di ba? Yung SONA, July 2025. Yung 2025 budget, in-implement yan siguro March or April. Ibig sabihin, nung nag-inspection noong July, pwedeng ongoing or even if may intention ang isang if may intention na gumawa ng ghost project, kung nadinig lang yung SONA ng presidente, pwedeng sinimulan na yung proyekto yun eh. Di ba? So yung mga ghosts could have been in 2020, it's 2024 or earlier, but could not have been 2025 kasi ang lapit ng SONA doon sa period noong paggawa ng project. And if you recall, nagkaroon ng election ban, di ba?
Right.
So, yung mga insertions na yun, hindi napagawa yun noong before the election ban. Kasi yung meeting na tinawag ako na pag-aralan yun is March 24. March 24, March 29 na yung election ban.
So anong year po nakikita natin yung mga na Ghost Flood Control Project? Which budget implemented it?
I don't think it's 2020. Let me finish lang
Apa.
para lang mas maintindihan. Okay, March 24. So March 29 election ban, di ba?
Yes.
So ibig sabihin, hindi yan na-implement before March 29. Tapos ang election ban is 1 month after the elections. So June 12 lang pwede mag-implement. So between June 12 and July 26 yata yung SONA, wala pang ghost project during that time. So yung ghost project are previous year's budgets. I think you can validate that with the DPWH.
So that's parang mga around, can you say 2022, 2023?
Hindi ko masabi. I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess, but those are previous year's budgets. And secondly, I would like to inform the public na ang DPWH budget has a life of 2 years. So it is, in 2025, is good up to 2026 December. Ano lagi yung DPWH budget.
Well, thank you for making that clear, Congressman. Those were good points. But I'd like to go back to the impeachment complaints. Kasi ngayon, dalawa na yan. No? We have VP Sara's looming, pending the MR complaint, and also yung kay President Bongbong Marcos. We spoke to Senator Ejercito the other day, and mukhang may mga investor sentiments na medyo negative na. If these two complaints really come out already in the open, dahil parang feeling nila magkaka-power vacuum, why do you have two of the highest positions in the land under scrutiny? What is the problem with the current structure? Do you have that same sentiment, Congressman?
Yes, I totally agree with Senator J.V. Ejercito. I totally agree. But the dilemma is, we don't have a choice eh. Wala kaming choice. It is our constitutional duty to go through the process of impeachment, no? Wala kaming choice. And to decide, no? Yun na lang. It's at the point of decision that will make the difference. Pero kung sasabihin, wala kaming choice, dapat din ganyan.
Well, before we let you go, Kong, sabi nga nila, itong mga impeachment complaint na to ay numbers game. Ngayon ba, can you share with us kung ano ba yung mas, kumbaga, mas yung percentage, yung possibility no na may susuporta ba dito sa impeachment complaint against the president or wala?
I've always looked at impeachment complaints independently, no? I always base it on the evidence, no? In the past impeachment complaints, kahit hindi ko kakampi yung mga in-impeach, hindi ako bumoto because I thought that there was not enough evidence. Even it was popular to impeach those officials at that time. And ang maganda sa akin, I don't have a national party. So I can independently evaluate at walang magiging party stand if ever there is, 'di ba? Kasi mag-isa lang ako.
Well, kasi if I...
Malaya akong pumili diyan.
Pero wala po kayo naririnig among your peers?
Na kung ano yung ano.
Susuportahan
Ang worry
sila,
talaga
susuportahan
nila is,
nila,
ang worry
or-
nila is the effect on the economy. Karamihan, ganun yung
Because-
worry.
Oo, because if I can
Pero
remember...
let's talk about it kasi wala pa kaming kopya.
Right.
May kopya na, no?
Oo. Yeah.
Hindi ko alam.
Oo, but if I can remember it correctly, si Senator Win Gatchalian sabi niya, ito daw mga pagdinig sa flood control mess ay maaring kumbaga para nagkakaroon na ng sway politically kung paano tignan ng mga tao sa Kongreso itong how the administration is handling the flood control mess.
No, but okay, I just want to go back to the statement kanina. No? It's true that the impeachment of the top two officials will not be good for the economy, no?
Right.
But that is part of accountability. Pero ngayon, kahit wala pa naman yung impeachment nung dalawa, o kahapon lang napadala yung kay BBM, apektado na rin yung ekonomiya natin. And it's also because of accountability. Because wala pa yung malaking isda, di ba? So even without the impeachment, the impeachment could possibly worsen investor confidence. Pero ngayon pa lang, may problema na tayo sa investor confidence, whether local or international. It's because doon sa accountability ng malaking isda, wala pa kasing nahuhuling malaking isda.
Oo nga. Alright, as always, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Yun ang mahalaga.
Opo.
Mahalaga yung accountability ng mga involved doon sa flood control. So I think the government has to be more proactive to bring back Saldico. Sabi ko nga, mas maganda kung may high-level team tayo na kung duda natin na sa Portugal, magpadala tayo ng high-level team na pumunta mismo doon sa Portugal to talk with their law enforcement agencies. No?
Oo.
And number two, magandang abangan natin yung next Senate Blue Ribbon Committee ni Senator Ping Lacson doon sa kay Attorney Paras na yun yung link between 30 Tamarind and former Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Naniniwala po ba kayo may mga feelers na? Do you think pwede yun, it's possible na medyo parang nakukonsensya na siya at he
I
wants
don't have any personal information. Mahirap magsabi ng yes or
Sabagay,
no.
opo.
Pareho tayong umaasa lang sa third-hand information.
Right. But as always, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get
Thank you.
po. That was Navotas Representative Toby Tiangco.